Hello Rangers, and welcome to Ranger Ruby YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be going over my national park scrapbook. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. Okay, now, so in case you haven't seen it already, in my national park haul, I got a national park scrapbook from Yellowstone National Park. So of course, just after my trip ended, I immediately printed all the pictures that we took from the trip, and I started my national park week-long trip scrapbook. Before we get started though, I'd just like to state that all national park scrapbooks are gonna be different. So mine is using a 12 by 12 classic scrapbook book, but some people use binders and put the Junior Ranger booklets in them, or put different memories or brochures in them. I used to do that for my Junior Ranger letters. I know some people just have the pictures shipped and printed and bound into one little book. So be sure to comment down below what you guys like to do after you go on a trip to remember it. Okay, now, so here, as we can see, we've got the scrapbook, and like I said earlier, it is just beautiful with various things and animals and landmarks inside Yellowstone National Park. So let's go ahead and open it up, and on my first page, it's a little bit of a title. It says we visited 10 national parks in 1 week, and it has the dates down here, a little bit smaller. Got some shots from the airplane that I thought were very stunning, and then it got a little selfie with me and my brother. We flip the page, and here you will see the first one. Don't look over there, it's cheating. From Golden Spike National Historic Site, I put some pictures, a Polaroid. I got a little patch there, and there isn't really space on my stash anymore, so I thought it would be a little cute right there in the scrapbook. A little information that actually came on the tag on the back of the patch, like where it's stuck on, and I thought that would be a cool way to, reuse it as a scrap, of course. And here is just a little bit more of the sign and a little bit of journaling that I did inside it. Then here, this actually paper is something that I got from the Yellowstone scrapbook kit, and it is a map of Yellowstone National Park. We've got some lettering and it says Yellowstone, because I was so excited and crazy that this was happening. This, of course, if you saw the vlog, you know, is the next day. Here is me at the sign with my family. Here's a little sticker. I cut this out from a picture I took. Next page, I documented our first animal sighting, which was elk. So here we've got 2 pictures that I took. Here's some Polaroids from the scenery. There were elk there, but you can't really see them because of the way they developed. We've got some little stickers and cutouts. And here I actually used a scrap of newspaper from the park newspaper, which I thought fit the theme rather nicely. And then over here, again, we've got some scraps from the Yellowstone scrapbook kit, but I did a little bit of journaling. We have some pictures here. We've got a nice Polaroid and some views of Grand Prismatic Spring. This is actually all entirely newspaper cutouts and stuff that I got from the scrapbook kit, some stamps. I like this spread. It turned out kind of a little bit more random-ish, Then our next spread is about our first geyser, which of course was Old Faithful. And here we've got some shots of that, as well as some of it sprouting out that I got from the scrapbook kit, as well as the date, because I forgot to put it on the last 2 spreads, which is okay, it's okay. Some more newspaper clippings and some pictures, and I really like how it's purple because it contrasts with the background. Next up, we've got here some scenery in Yellowstone. I took all of these pictures, and honestly, it's just so aesthetic. And I remember driving through this, the whole time I was like, oh, this is just so pretty and it's so aesthetic. And my family kind of made fun of me because I kept saying that. And then next up, we've got 2 pages completely dedicated to the one and the only bison. So here I wrote buffalo sighting, aka bison, because buffalo is actually not the correct term for them. They are in fact bison. And here is where we've got some. So we've got some that are farther away, and then these 2 were really close on the side of the road. Actually, it's the same one, all of those. And I don't know if you can tell, but in the back, there is kind of like a map. So that's another piece of paper that I used. And there's also wavy effects on the side. You can't see that, but it's on the other side too. Then here we've got the bison saga continues, and they got this close to our car. I also really like this image. It's a little candid of us when we first saw the bison, as well as here, I like how I kind of did it where it's inverse, where normally you back the photo on paper, but this time the paper is on top of the photo, and it's like a little window, like from our car. And then over here, we've got day 2, and I actually remembered to put the date on this one. Yay! And here is Gibbon Falls. And I like how it did the rounded corner effects here. And I really liked Gibbon Falls. It had the perfect waterfall ASMR sound, as well as just the stunning views. It was very wide, and that was on the other side of the river. And then here is going to see the paint pot. So there was a short little hike there. It wasn't really a hike, it was just more of a walk. And they were really rather stunning, and I loved the paint pot. So I'm glad we kind of made that little detour. Then here, it's a double spread completely dedicated to my favorite site from the whole trip, Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. We've got some shots, a lot of Polaroids. In fact, I had so many Polaroids that I made a little gallery up here, some selfies. And if you saw the vlog, you saw that I in fact started crying because I was just so overwhelmed by it. And so I had to actually take off my glasses right there. I really love the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, so I knew it needed a double spread. And then the next page is Mammoth Springs. And I kind of went a little bit red with this one, as you can see. We did a little bit of journaling, though not much, because it was really hard to get pictures in video footages of this, because you kind of needed to be above it to really see it. And then next up, we've got Leaving Yellowstone, the Roosevelt Arch. This is a really nice photo. A really nice lady took that for us of the back of the arch, as well as this beautiful Montana sky, which honestly, I know it's the Big Sky State, but the sky there is actually bigger. And I just love seeing how the states differed so much in their landscape. So the next day, here we have Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument. Now, as you can see, I only had one picture here, and that's because I didn't realize I'd printed more, but it's of the sign when we first got there, Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument, or actually the Battle of Little Bighorn National Monument. And then I have some Polaroids of us in the car and of the graveyard cemetery, and I did a bit more journaling here. The next page, we've got Devil's Tower National Monument. I would have liked to make this a double spread, but we weren't really there for long enough for it to have enough to be one. So here we've got some Polaroids, some devils, and then the very nice tower. And I really like the sign because you could actually see the monument from the sign, which was awesome. So then here we've got a double page for Mount Rushmore National Memorial. Honestly, it was really stunning when we got there. I don't know if it was just because it was at sunset, but here you can see this beautiful moonrise with the clouds. And we did a little journaling, got some stamps, Polaroids, layering, washi tape, all that jazz. Then I actually skipped a day because we had one extra day where it was just driving, and I didn't scrapbook or vlog any of that because it was really rather boring. But so 2 days later, we've got Zion National Park, and I kind of bring it back to the beginning where I did a similar color pattern. As you can see, there's like a map as a background. I don't know if you can really see that, but I got that from the Zion scrapbooking kit, and I did something similar to Yellowstone, Zion, with the red and such. So I took a lot of Polaroids in Zion, and they all turned out super like artistic and cute. And this is actually kind of a double spread because it's the same theme. Got the date, some more pictures. Zion National Park, super photogenic. Then one of my favorites, but one of my least favorite spreads from this whole trip is Bryce Canyon. I like the color theme that I went for, but I don't really like all the extras that I added, even though I did get them in the scrapbook kit. So here you can see that, got a little journaling, title, some cool pictures. Polaroids really didn't turn out well for Bryce Canyon. I don't know if that was the lighting, but same with Mount Rushmore. When it was at sunset, Polaroids didn't do too great. So next we've got Capitol Reef. This was day 2 of the Utah parks. I really liked Capitol Reef, and because it had more red tones inside the pictures, I went for a yellow theme, and it's a little bit green as well. Then next up here, we've got Canyonlands National Park. I didn't have enough room for an S, so please excuse that. I really liked Canyonlands, so as you can see with the very blue, dry sky, I went for a very pink theme and some nice cutesy lettering, and as well as this little Polaroid, which again, Polaroids don't do too well when there's a lot of light, and they don't do too well when there's not a lot of light, so you need a nice balance. Then here we took a photo at every single state sign for a new state that we visited. So you can see South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Utah, and Idaho. And of course, Idaho was my favorite state. But in in Wyoming, South Dakota, and Montana, it was super windy. So you can see all of us kind of struggling in the pictures to keep it together. But yeah, these are the states. And then here is Arches National Park. And this is where I went crazy with the scrapbook kit. You can see I have the laser cutout, some stickers, some of the pictures, some of the paper. And I really love the pictures that I took here. You can see I have a lot of the moonrise. This is actually the moonrise, not the sunset, as well as delicate arch. So Arches National Park. This was one of my favorites near the end of the trip. And then finally, on the last page, I went over some of my trip favorites. So I went over the food. My favorite food was at the Little America in the Salt Lake City Hotel that we went to. My favorite state was Idaho. I don't know why, I really connected with Idaho. Then next, my favorite park was Yellowstone. We just spent the most amount of time there, and I really got to know it, and I loved it, and I just wish I could go back there again. I want to live there. I love Yellowstone. It's amazing. My favorite hotel, although my favorite or the best one was the Little America, my favorite was a cabin that we stayed at in Utah, sorry. My favorite site was Devil's Tower. Wish we could spend a little more time there. My least favorite site was Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, but that's probably because we did the scenic drive and it was very scary at some points with the very sheer cliffs. My favorite site we saw of all of them was the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Like I said, nothing can top that for me, except maybe the real Grand Canyon, which who knows if we'll get there eventually. And then my favorite gas station, I know this is a little random, but it was one that we visited in Utah where we stocked up on snacks and got some cool friendship bracelets. So everybody, that is the end of my national park scrapbook. Well, everybody, that's the end in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and comment down below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to click that red subscribe button and the little bell next to it to always know when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching again, and I shall see you next video. Bye!